I watched the final game of a college football team a few weeks ago, and at the end of the game, I saw something that is a lesson for every high school student athlete, no matter what sport you play. It was a reminder of how important your approach is in everything you do, and you never know who's watching. Let's jump in and discuss. Welcome back to Heart Smart Together. I'm Coach Dave. I'm here every week to help basketball players become the smart, confident players that coaches love. So it was a few weeks ago. I'm watching college football. I love all sports, not just basketball, so I'm a fan of watching sports, and I'm especially a fan of college football. But a few weeks ago, the season was ending for a number of teams that maybe didn't make it into a bowl game or didn't make the playoffs, and their season was coming to the end. So there was this one game I was watching, and I just caught the tail end. But there was something that struck me as such a great lesson for my audience, for you, young high school basketball players, and that is how important your approach is. Because what I saw in this game is a player, it was the heat of the moment. They were upset. They had lost the game. They obviously disagreed with some things that their coach had done, either at the end of the game, throughout the game, with the play calling, whatever the case might be. So it's after the game, and they're kind of like going after their coach on the field. They're not physically going after their coach, but verbally going after their coach. And then their coach is trying to calm them down, to talk them through it, and they want nothing to do with the coach. Now, teammates are coming over and pulling this player back from the coach and trying to be kind of mediators in this obvious, it's a loss, it's the end of the season, emotions are high, but this player's reaction to their coach, their approach to losing this game, was playing out on national television. And it didn't come off as well. And so I thought, what a great episode to remind us that your approach to everything you do as a student athlete makes a statement about who you are. And yes, this player was making a statement. And all I could think is, that player's probably thinking, I'm going to go into the transfer portal. I'm going to go into the transfer portal and I'm going to be playing for a different coach and a different team next season. Really? What opportunity are they going to have when their final act for that team was really not a good look, right? What coach wants to put up with that kind of attitude from a player? Maybe they were graduating. Maybe they're thinking, I'm going to be working next year. Or maybe they had aspirations for playing pro football. Regardless, was their future boss watching? Okay, so there's lessons that we can take from this. So your approach makes a statement about who you are in everything you do. Okay, it makes a statement when you're on the court, when you're competing in a game, how you handle losses, how you handle wins, how you interact with your coach, how you interact with your teammates, your approach to how you interact with teachers, classmates, in the class, just throughout your day as a student, makes a statement about who you are. Okay? You make a statement about who you are with your approach when you're out downtown hanging out with your friends. right? As a student athlete, a lot of you young high school basketball players might have aspirations to play at the next level. You want to play in college. You never know who could be watching, right? You think, oh, this is no big deal. I'm out with my friends. I'm downtown. I'm at the movies, whatever. What if across the way is that AAU coach for the AAU team that you want to get on so that you can get exposure to play in college? Maybe you don't have aspirations to play in college. What if this summer you need a job and you are looking to take on a job this summer, okay? Or after you graduate. What if when you are in a game, on the bench, because of a loss, whatever, what if your future boss is watching your approach, watching how you interact with your teammates, watching your reaction on the bench? What if your future boss is watching? You know, what if maybe you don't want to play sports at the college level, but you want to get into the college? What if a college admissions officer happens to be around you when you have maybe a negative approach or a positive approach? Okay, let's keep it on the positive side. Okay, and that college admissions officer goes, oh yeah, I remember that player. I was at that game, or I saw them downtown, or whatever the case might be. Yeah, you might not be on national television like this college football player, but you never know who's watching. You never know who's watching you at practice. You never know who's watching you who might have just walked into the gym. You never know who's watching you at the game. You never know who's watching you in class. You never know who's watching you when you're out and about. So you have to, as a student athlete, you have to think of what's my approach and how is that making, what statement is that making about me as a student athlete? And how that might affect things that you want down the road, goals you have. So I just want you to think about how your approach might be affecting your future. If you have a great approach in all these areas, great, keep it up. If not, this is an opportunity to kind of reflect and go, okay, I need to be aware. I need to be aware that, you know, just like that college football player wasn't really aware of how that might be affecting his future. You have to be aware of who might be watching and how it might affect you. That's all I got for today. Hopefully this was helpful. If it was helpful, give me a like, give me a comment. And until next week, remember to play hard, play smart, and play together. See you next week.